Before I tell you this story, I need you to listen carefully. Not to me, to your walls. Go ahead, listen. You hear that? That faint sound? Most people would call it nothing. The man in this story called it nothing too. Right up until it was inside his head, eating his thoughts.
It started with a sound, just a small sound. Scritch, scritch, coming from behind the wall. From outside. The man told himself it was rats or insects. Told himself he would deal with it tomorrow. He went back to sleep, or tried to sleep. Tomorrow came. The scratching came back louder than before. Night after night, it continued. Not just behind one wall anymore. Now it was everywhere, inside the walls, inside the ceiling, kitchen, the toilet, moving around, like something was scurrying through the entire building. Through the walls. He called the landlord. He called an exterminator. They searched every inch of that apartment, every wall, every corner, every crack. They found nothing. No rats, no insects, no evidence of anything living inside those walls. Or outside the house. They told him he was fine and left. That night, the scratching came back worse than ever, louder and annoying.
Now here is where it gets interesting. At this point in the story, the man had two choices. He could leave the apartment, or he could stay and fight whatever was making that sound. What would you have done? Because what he chose next changed everything.
He decided to fight back. He chose to solve the problem. He borrowed cans of plastic ceiling spray from a neighbor. Something strange, though. His neighbor had many cans of the stuff. Too many. And the way he handed them over. It was like he had done this before. Like he knew exactly what was happening. The man almost asked, but he didn't answer the question. He spent the entire night sealing every crack, every hole, every gap in that apartment. By morning, every opening was sealed shut. He sat back and waited. Silence. For the first time in weeks. Silence. He thought it was over. But no, he was wrong.
Do you think sealing the walls was the right move? Or do you think that was the worst thing he could have done? Think about it, because the next part of this story I still cannot explain.
He came home one evening, and something was different. The silence was gone. The scratching was back. But it was not behind the walls anymore. It was inside the room. With him. He grabbed his phone. He called someone. A friend. Halfway through that call, his words stopped making sense. He typed one last message. No spaces. Just one endless broken line of text that read, "It's in my head, my thoughts." Over and over and over. Then nothing. No more messages. No more calls. Nothing. When they found him, the cause of death was listed as unknown at first. The medical examiner was calm as he worked. Severe trauma to the upper skull. Scratch marks that looked self-inflicted. Blood and bone fragments were found under his own fingernails. The junior doctor looked at the body and asked quietly. He scratched his own brain out. The senior examiner didn't answer right away. He just stared at the corpse for a long moment, then said quietly, "That's what it looks like, but you can never be too sure." Then he say, "Let's keep going."
What do you think got inside his head? Was it something physical? Something that crawled through a crack he missed? Or maybe it was something his mind made up? Or was it something else entirely? Something that did not need a crack to get through? Something that was never really in the walls at all? Drop your answers in the comments.